What's the worst thing someone tried to correct you about something you're specialized at?
I'm not really specialized, but a Redditor tried correcting me about the geography of my country, Norway, claiming that it was very much flat like all the other Nordic countries, and he refused to believe me when I told him that it's the opposite and it's filled with mountains.
I'm majoring in archaeology. I had a guy start talking to me about dinosaurs. I correct him and say it's a fairly common misconception, but paleontology and archaeology are two different fields, and I'm studying humans, not dinosaurs. He doubles down and insists I need to know about dinosaurs because what do you do if you're digging up ruins and find a dinosaur fossil? Call a paleontologist. He smugly tells me I'll be useless in the field if I don't know about dinosaurs, and I better start registering for paleontology courses and leaves. I still don't know about dinosaurs.
I had to leave R Welding for this reason. I'm a welder on nuclear submarines with over 14 different X-ray welding qualifications at this company alone. I would constantly get into arguments with people who are new and have no real-world experience with welding. The amount of wrong information being thrown out left and right over there is insane. There are plenty of very knowledgeable folks there, but they are overshadowed by the ignorant.
You wouldn't believe the number of times people tried to tell me that people only become diabetic if they eat too much sugar and insist they are right. I'm a type 1 diabetic, diagnosed at 14 months. Was I drinking soda from my bottles and using ring pops as pacifiers then?
So, Canadian lawyer here. I used to do primarily firearms law. I taught a course in firearms law at university. I've been consulted on it by lawyers. I've had judges tell other lawyers to phone me with firearms law questions. I had a law student telling me that I was, so wrong about firearms law on a particular topic. Eventually they went and cited a particular case, which I politely advised them they were wrong about. They keep going on, talking about how just because I'm a lawyer and they're a student doesn't mean they're wrong. Meanwhile, I'm just holding my tongue. Eventually someone else chimed in to be like, "Oh, don't you know who that is?" And the case you cited was a case he personally argued and won one. Satisfying enough.
A climber. People tell me to wear gloves all of the time. There's a form of climbing where gloves would be somewhat acceptable, although even then a bit questionable. But in free climbing bouldering, you cannot wear gloves because your fingers actually allow you to grip onto smaller pieces of rock.
I'm a Harley mechanic, and I swear most Harley riders have to pretend they know everything about their bike. I don't even argue with them anymore. I just tell them what's up, and if they want to debate about it, I say okay and walk away. LOL.
I'm a professional pastry cook. The gym at my new job tried to reteach me how to crack eggs.
I got shut down by this actually. I was arguing with my cousin while we were in an old hydraulic elevator. I said, the hydraulic elevators are slow, crap, and have far more failures than cable elevators. The guy standing across from us laughs, shakes his head and says he's an elevator repairman, and that's not true at all. Shamed.
Someone in my school, USA, tried to correct my Spanish. I'm Puerto Rican, a Spanish-speaking colony of the US. And then I started talking full Spanish and he walked away.
That moment when after 20 minutes of arguing about something, the person Googles it to prove you're wrong. That look on their face, the shame when they see you were right all along. Priceless.
My height.
I'm 6'10".
Guy comes up and says he's 6'10", so I must be like 7.
Nah, man, you're 6'6" max. And then we went back and forth about that for a bit. Also had the other side of that coin where someone will ask how tall I am and I'll reply 6'10", and they just straight up won't believe me and will tell me I'm lying.
Like, what?
What? Why? Why? What would I possibly stand to benefit?
People without their ID constantly try and quote various laws about being able to order alcohol when out with parents. I work in a pub which is part of a chain. We're regularly tested for Challenge 21. No, I'm not handing you a pint when you can't prove you're old enough and wouldn't be willing to pay the 1,000 fine I'd receive.
A knife maker, a friend tried to tell me that the curve on the katana was forged in. No, it's made by differential hardness in the quench. and then tried to tell me that tempering a knife meant hardening it.
Got a ton of these when I worked at a video game store. My favorite was a guy who came in around the time Skyrim came out and asked if we had the new Elder Scrolls game. I said, "Oh, you mean Skyrim?" He laughed condescendingly and said, "No, I mean skist mistaken." I was like, "Oh no, it's called Skyrim." Now he's like, "Oh no, it's called Skyrim. It's pronounced Oscrim." At that point, I realized he didn't even want the game. He just wanted to show up the girl working in the game store with his superior knowledge. Also had someone come in demanding the Mario game on CERN. When I said no such thing existed, he immediately went ballistic, screaming that it does exist and he played it at his friend's house. He eventually stormed out of the store, yelling about how stupid I was, guessing he'd had that interaction at a few other game stores that day.
For a short time, I was teaching in a school, and at the end of the year, an inspector visited to go over the way I had corrected the final exams. He insisted that the answer to a particular question was not the one I said was correct. He was the one who had written the question. I argued with him that I was very sure that I knew what I was saying. I had written a thesis about this particular topic. It took a lot of effort not to punch him in the face.
I have worked in a tire garage for nearly 10 years and am female. I can't even count how many times people try to tell me how to do my job. No, you can't cross-rotate my tires. You will break a belt. The tires will explode. Sir, we haven't sold bias-ply tires in over 10 years. We only sell radial tires, and the way I'm rotating them is specific to the drive axle of your vehicle. Or my personal favorite, sitting there as a customer lays into me for 30 minutes about how we sold them magnetic tires. I never had a nail in my tires until I bought your tires. I've had 3 repairs since I bought tires from you guys. This is a stunt to make money off of me. If only I knew how to make rubber magnetic, I'd be so rich doing all my free repairs.
Actually, it's been proven that vaccines can cause autism. Bro, I have a fee and work in an autism research lab.
On how my dyslexia affected me. My own dyslexia. Not the concept of dyslexia, but my day-to-day functioning. I know when and how it impacts me and the difference to forgetting my glasses and being unable to see things at a distance.
Everything. I am a creative director. Clients always think they have better ideas and then waste my time and my team's time implementing their changes only to go back to what I originally suggested. But hey, whatever they pay for it and I get paid, so I guess it works out for me. But it is annoying.
My friend and I went to Dapper Day at Disney last weekend, where people dress up in vintage wear. One of Disney's photographers asked my friend if she was Disney-bounding, interpreting a Disney character, and she replied that she was simply a generic dress, circa 1955. The photographer began telling us how she was really much more late 1940s, and that we may have researched it, but he lived through it, and next time we should look at a picture. We are both professional theatrical costumers whose strengths lie in historical costuming, and her dress was taken directly from a 1955 catalog. Further, based on his approximate age, and being generous that he may have aged well, this man was definitely not older than 5 in 1955.